right, welcome to Falls Count Anywhere podcast. Charlie Turner here along with Chris DiCarlo and John Rustino, the usual suspects. Gentlemen, how are we doing tonight?
Good. Welcome aboard.
Welcome aboard indeed, guys. On this nice summer day here in Western New York as we chug along here on the Falls Count Anywhere podcast. Guys, we're going to be talking some wrestling this week, as we always do, but this week we're going to be talking wrestling with a guest, and we're always pleased and proud and ecstatic whenever we get a guest on this show. This is just a new podcast we started within the last 8 or 9 months, and we're pumped up for our next guest. This man spent some time in the NWA and most notably in WCW in the 90s, where he teamed up with the likes of Hulk Hogan and others to take on Kevin Sullivan, his on-screen brother. As we bring him in right now, he is Mr. Dave Sullivan, or EVAD, if you will, joining us today on Falls Count Anywhere podcast. Dave, how you doing today, sir?
Good, guys. How are you doing?
Doing awesome, man. Doing awesome. We're so happy to have you on the show just to talk a little bit of wrestling. We definitely want to talk about your career a little bit and get into that. I guess before we do, as far as 2022 goes, last couple times we tried to connect with you. You're at the gym. You're getting pumped up. You're still a big dude. Are you still wrestling these days?
Oh, just a little bit in Independence, a little bit, and that's about it. Here locally.
Gotcha. Okay. Very good, man. Just want to dive right into your career. As far as the wrestling business, how did you get involved in wrestling? And was there anybody in particular that kind of gave you like that nudge through the door there when you first got started?
Harley Race did. Harley Race and Bob Geigman, because I was in Topeka at that time coaching at Washburn football. And I met Harley through recruiting his son. And they talked to me about it. And I kind of had some interest doing it anyway. So I started in Kansas City and then eventually went up there to Portland with Grappler, and him and Piper worked with me some more, and then I really became part of the NWA before that, before everything else took off.
Very cool. And Dave, you mentioned Harley Race. I just had a discussion recently online about how tough Harley Race was. Did you know him to be a real tough guy along with Haku?
Those two you didn't mess with. Never mess with Harley. Never.
The kind of guys you might be in a bar fight, right?
Well, no. He's amazing. Him and Haku, and of course the Giant was amazing too. Andre.
Andre.
Yeah. Nobody messed with him either.
What about the Road Warriors, Mr. Sullivan?
The Road Warriors, they were tough, but I wouldn't put them in that category. They're tough, but I wouldn't put them with. Harley was had freakish strength and just. He would fight. It's one guy that Haku always respected too, and Haku was double tough too.
Yeah, I've always heard that those two guys, if they were to clash in real life, it would be one heck of a battle.
Yeah, it would, no question.
Now, Dave, when you first got started, of course, I understand you have a football background as well, correct?
Correct. Yes.
Very good. And I noticed that that's been I don't want to say common, but I see that's with a lot of wrestlers that came up with, without football, they went to, I shouldn't say without football, but, as an alternative to football, they went to pro wrestling for the, for the sport of it, for the contact of it. Was that kind of why, you got involved with wrestling?
Yeah. I mean, you look at like Rock, and well, of course his dad did it, but he was a good football player before. And then Big Cat, Ernie Ladd, he played for the Chargers and then, went into pro wrestling. So it's happened. Don Joyce Wave a long time ago did it too for the Colts. So, I mean, yes, it's happened. It's kind of it's a good fit because of the physicality of football, and wrestling and pro wrestling is the same way.
You kick some ass, absolutely.
Chief Wahoo McDaniel, also Mr. Sullivan.
Yeah, that's right. Don't forget Wahoo. That's right.
Very good. Goldberg, another guy.
Yeah. Yep. In fact, real quick, Mr. Sullivan, I see you on Facebook. Do you host that show, or are you on that college football show?
Yes, I do. I host Ballin' with Bill. Yeah. I do. It's mostly for high school coaches, though. We do put a couple college coaches on there once in a while, but mostly it's for the high school area coaches and all that.
Cool.
Very good. Dave, one thing I wanted to ask you about when you jumped into WCW, and then you were portrayed as the on-screen brother of Kevin Sullivan, and then at one point you were teaming with the Hulkster, you were teaming with Stinger, and you were doing those matches there, and at one point you were dressing as Hogan. What was that whole when Hogan got hired by WCW? What was that whole experience like for both the locker room and then for you personally, being able to team with him and with Sting and those guys?
Well, Sting's a heck of a guy. I enjoyed Sting. Hogan kind of kept to himself. I mean, he never lockered with us or anything. I mean, he kind of did his own thing. So Hogan really never spoke a lot. You know, he wasn't like Flair and Sting, who always was one of the guys. You know what I'm saying? Hogan wasn't like that. He kind of separated from us quite a bit. But it was fun. It was a good experience. I mean, I enjoyed it. I mean, it was fun and everything like that. But he wasn't one of the boys, as far as, you know, that whole thing, because he lockered. You know, him and Jimmy went on their own and lockered by themselves. You know,
Yeah.
they were totally separate of the rest of us.
And the Stinger is still an active wrestler. Have you been checking out his career currently with AEW?
Yeah, he's still doing it. Give him credit that he's an old fart like me.
Right. Yeah, you know, we talked about him doing that spot off of he was off a balcony or something. He went through a table from about 20 feet in the air. Is there anything that you would consider doing still at this point, taking a high spot?
I would do some things, but I ain't doing that. No, I'm like falling like through the ring. But yeah, Sting's, and he had both his knees worked on. It's amazing he still does that stuff.
Yeah, double death drop and double scorpion. It was just incredible.
Yeah. You know, for his age, for our age, I should say, that's amazing.
I know I'm gonna beat Charlie to this, but we just watched Ric Flair's last match on Sunday night. Did you watch it, Mr. Sullivan? And what do you think?
Knowing Rick when he was at his best, that was tough. I mean, I was proud of him, but that was still tough to watch. You could tell ever since he got sick when he was in the hospital all that time, you can tell he's struggled. That he's got a pacemaker. It's harder now for him.
Yeah, you know, and somebody had mentioned too, you know, as you read stuff on the internet and whatnot, after that match, from what I read, Jay Lethal was concerned if Ric Flair were to bleed, he didn't want him to lose too much blood.
Right.
Because, as you mentioned, pacemaker and
well, he's taking blood thinners and all that stuff.
Right. Yeah, that was kind of the scary thing there, because at one point he was kind of he was busted open and he was kind of laid out in the ring there. Yeah,
I mean, that was something a lot of people were worried about and everything, is if he would get blood because of the pacemaker and the blood thinners, he'd have some issues. He could have some issues. He could die right there. I mean, that's a scary thought. Jeez. And you respect the heck out of him. You just don't want to see him go that way. But I'm glad he got through it and he went over and all that stuff. So I'm happy for him.
Yeah, Mr. Sullivan, if I could ask you, I've been a fan since 1980. I mentioned that to you before. So we've also had, speaking of Kevin Sullivan, of course, but we've had Mr. Terry Sullivan on the show. Any relation to him, sir?
No, just Kevin.
Kevin.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Just Kevin. Yeah.
And Dave, you know, one thing I recently was reading as well, and I don't, you know, if you want to answer this or not, it's up to you. If there's any truth to this, but that at one point WCW felt that, you know, even though you were coming out as Hulk Hogan, you know, as a super fan, they felt that you looked too much like Hulk Hogan. You were his size, you had the same look, and because of that, it kind of created some creative. That's
the truth, because it came from Kevin's mouth, and Kevin was part of the booking committee. He would have known. Now he never told me that back then. He told me a few years back that it happened. What happened? But I didn't know what happened. But that's what happened. Beefcake, I'm sure. I don't know who the guy was, but I'm going to guess it was Beefcake. Said something, and yeah, it was Hogan, because Hogan had all the rights at that time. He put that in his contract.
And were you gone by the time NWO and all that stuff started?
No, I was still there at the very end, but when it just got started.
Gotcha.
But he was still babyface. He hadn't turned yet, but the other guys had come in.
Yeah, and a lot of the stories, you know, as us as fans, you know, we read dirt sheets and you know, we watch different podcasts and get information. But it sounded like, you know, as you kind of alluded to a little bit with Hogan kind of being off on his own island, he kind of had his own creative power that he could almost call all the shots.
They gave him that creative power. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure now Bischoff probably regretted he did it, but he did it at the time, and it tied the hands of the booking committee too.
Speaking of Mr. Bischoff, how was he and how was he to work with, Mr. Sullivan?
I had no problems with Eric. I mean, I got along with him. I really didn't deal because I worked with Kevin and a lot of the stuff like that, so I didn't deal with Eric a whole bunch. But when my how you want to say this, my time with him, when I ever spent with him, was good. I mean, I'm sure there's things like all of us, you look back on your life that you regret, and I'm sure there's some things during that time he regretted too.
Yeah.
Because he, eventually came up when he went to the WWE. Who was the guy? He's right up here in Sioux Falls. Great guy. But he played my type of gimmick too. That was Eric's idea. He was Eric's little brother. Remember? Wayne.
Eugene.
Yes. Well, that's because it got over. So he came up with Eugene for the WWE, but that was his idea because of how well it worked at WCW.
Nick Dismore, Eugene.
That's
yes, sir.
Eugene.
He's just north of me from South. He was up here in Sioux Falls, South Dakota.
Wow, very nice.
Interesting. And David, I wanted to ask you about this as well, because this as I'm reading some of the stuff on your career, I thought this was kind of funny, and then I went and looked up the match on Peacock on the network there, and I watched it. At one point, you were feuding with Big Bubba Rogers, and you had now. I'm just curious as to how this conversation went down.
I like Bubba. Bubba's a great guy.
And he's missed the big boss man, Bubba. Right, he's missed absolutely.
We drank a lot of beer together with Bubba.
When they had you do that angle with the rabbit, what was that conversation like? Hey man, you're gonna go out there and he's gonna be allergic to the rabbit. And that was the whole storyline there.
Yeah, and we were both laughing our butts off about that one. Neither one of us are allergic, but he'd freak out with it, the whole thing, and yeah, it was hard to keep a straight face because he was so good at putting that over that I even had a hard time straight face in the ring with him.
Yeah, some interesting.
Bring Ralph around, and he had to do all that stuff, and I'm like trying to keep a straight face because he was killing me. He did it so well.
You and DDP too as well went kind of around Mr. Sullivan.
Yeah, we had a lot of good time with DDP. Worked a lot of matches with him and everything, and good guy. And I'm really proud of what he's done. He's helped a lot of the guys out that had issues with alcohol and drugs, and got them back on the straight path. And he just helped out. Gosh dang it, what's his name? Buff Bagwell. And he's doing much better. So, I mean,
he looks fantastic.
Buff was close to probably killing himself, I bet you, because of that last part he had in Atlanta and everything when he got in all that trouble. Now he's a totally different guy. So, give Dallas credit for that.
Yeah, the DDP yoga, he's done some awesome things with that. I remember, at one point, unfortunately, what happened with Scott Hall ultimately with that with the accident he had with the hip and everything. But he did a lot for Scott Hall during his career.
Because Scott was near death too. Yes.
Yeah. Did you know Scott Hall?
Yeah, great guy.
Yeah.
Great guy. Good person. Good-hearted man. You hate to see, a lot of the guys I work with, like Rick Rude, Paul Orndorff, all of them, Mr. Perfect, all those guys are gone now. And Bubba Rogers, just like you said, he's gone too. So you hate to see all that, man. They're all good people.
Absolutely. And us as fans growing up and watching those guys, when you see that, it's a part of our childhood that and it's like, geez, it's hard to digest, because some of them went so young. We were talking about Randy Savage.
51 years old.
Yeah, that's another guy I want to ask you about too. The intensity on Randy Savage. I was always reading that it's 24/7 with him, right?
Well, we get in the car, we go down the road and driving, going out, and he talked to us like, and we've got looking at him like Sting and I, Steve and Marcus was in the car too, Bagwell, and we're all looking at him like, what's he doing? What's he doing? It's the guys here. I think you take a right there. Okay. But
there was no off switch, right?
No, there wasn't. He did. I mean, we'd go out and play pool and shit like that. Right corner. He'd do the whole thing. What the heck? But
he never drop an elbow on the pool table.
No, he never did that. But he would stay with his gimmick the whole time. All these, which you got to give credit to. That's hard to do. I mean, I couldn't imagine doing EVAD the whole time.
Right.
Yeah.
Or like Bubba Rogers jumping around and saw me because I had rabbit on me or something.
Right,
but Randy would have done it probably.
Wow. Yeah, Mr. Sullivan, real quick. A part of our show, we have Sheik tweets. We love the Iron Sheik and get a lot of laughs from him. 80 years old and still going. And we do classic clips from my personal DVD collection. In fact, we have a couple from when you started out there in Portland. Mm-hmm. Can you? How was Mr. Owen and Piper and the Portland territory with you?
Owen, Don Owens. One time he said, he was 86 at the time, and he goes, "Listen, I'm the toughest 86 I can outfuck. I don't know if I can say this on your podcast, but
absolutely,
I'll fight any 86-year-old man alive because there ain't many of us left to outfight me. But you love Don, and then of course Roddy Piper was the best. I think he still today is the greatest heel ever because he got over not even working in the ring, just with his mouth, and people hated him.
The Piper's Pit, the Piper's Pit alone was so iconic, right?
That's one of the greatest ideas and show. Yeah, amazing how much heat he got with that thing, and he great guy, good human being. By God, he could talk, and he could get people wound up and hate him, and just, he was. Yeah, that's why that first WrestleMania did so well, is because all the heat he had.
Yes, he was easily one of my favorites growing up. I know Chris, I can probably speak for you, Nick. We've shown a lot of classic hot rod with the pineapple and with the Snuka and all that stuff.
You heard that story? They accidentally put real ones in. They were supposed to put props in there. They accidentally put real ones.
Oh my God!
Yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah, so I believed it was real the whole time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Wow.
Knocked the poor guy out but everybody thought they were. So he just slammed him into it. Yeah.
Wow.
In fact, you guys can laugh at me because I got laughed at about this already. But remember back, I know Mr. Sullivan, a lot of wrestling. WWF there, the end of '86. I know John loves this with Savage and Steamboat angle, and Steamboat with his crushed larynx. I bought right into that just until a couple years ago.
You couldn't say the letter E.
A couple years ago.
And I tell you, I got so heated at Jeff Jarrett after this past 2 weeks. I text Adam Parsons. I don't know if you know him, Mr. Sullivan, Adam Parsons and Rock Parsons with the Wrestling Network, Wrestling Legends Network, and Jarrett Parsons Entertainment. I said, Adam, is this a work or is this real? Because I hated Jarrett and going after with Conrad and Flair and.
No, that was good. That's good heat. That's what got the thing over, and they did well with it. Had a full house and was good.
Have you had any interaction? How is Jeff Jarrett?
As far as I know, he's good. I mean, I think he still lives down in Tennessee, doesn't he? And lived down there with his family. Yeah, I mean, I think they're all doing well. I mean, I talked to Bill. He managed Darren Matthews there. Bill, he's from Tennessee too. What's his name? See him right now. He was Steve Regal's manager.
Oh, Dundee.
Yeah, Bill Dundee, and they all seem to be doing good.
Good. Yeah, we've been trying to reach out to the King, Jerry Lawler, to come on our show, but that might be a tough.
He should. This is a good show. It's good.
Oh, thanks.
We appreciate it, Dave. And Dave, let me ask you too about the recent retirement of Vince McMahon. I mean, as we know, it's a retirement for now. We don't know there's always something with Vince McMahon. He might end up coming back. But with him apparently stepping down and Triple H taking over things, well, let me ask you, do you watch any current WWE? And now with Vince McMahon stepping down, what do you think that means for them going forward?
You wonder if he's not going to sell it to Disney or NBC. I don't know. Yeah. Triple H, after what he had happened with that heart issue, does he really want to go on the road and run it like Vince did? Him and Stephanie with your young family? I'm wondering, is this Vince stepping down to sell it, or is he just? I know why he stepped down because of those issues with the women, but does Triple H really want to run it?
Right. Yeah, and I know that they lined up Nick Khan with Stephanie to try to run things from a CEO standpoint and let Triple H kind of run with it creatively. So yeah, us as fans are just kind of hoping because the product's been a little bit stale the last 10 to 15 years, where it's just not that same exciting wrestling that the Monday Night Wars and the 90s before that, the golden era and whatnot. You guys, your era, it was all part of what we grew up on. So we feel like we have a higher standard for what we should be expecting.
Yeah,
we
right.
were waiting to watch. We were waiting to watch every Saturday, waiting to see what would happen.
Right.
With no internet back then was the best. Now CM Punk was going to come out when he did and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, right now, I watch some of it, and it's not like it should be. I mean, I think it hurts for Vince to step down because he's got one of the most creative minds for wrestling that there's ever been. So I mean, it'll be interesting to see what happens. You're right. Will they sell it? What would they? Are they Triple H and Stephanie going to do this? Do they really want to? I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because poor Paul, he almost passed away here a year ago.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he was
those
really
artists,
scared.
Yeah. Have you ever had any contact with Vince McMahon?
Oh, only a long time ago. When
Yeah.
I was with stuff like that, he was good. I always liked him. And Paul and I were good friends back when he was in the WCW. So I wish him the best. I just hope he keeps his health, because that's the most important thing. You've just seen too many guys lose their life at such a young age.
Yeah. Yeah.
What
absolutely.
about Mr. Sullivan? Can we ask you about your thoughts and being with Mean Gene Okerlund, Bobby the Brain Heenan?
Oh, they're awesome. They're two of the best. Mean Gene's originally from Nebraska, like me.
Oh, very good. Yeah.
But
yeah, Mean Gene,
those two are two of the best announcers ever, and they still haven't replaced those two and Jesse the Body. Those three together were amazing.
Another thing I wanted to bring up too that just occurred to me here and I hate to bring the mood down because of it, because it's such a sad thing to see. But Mongo McMichael, Steve McMichael, there was a recent picture of him that surfaced online. He's battling ALS, and man, it's such a scary disease. Have you had any contact with Mongo at all, like before?
Not since I got out of no, and no, I feel horrible for him, because I loved him when he was a Bear, playing for the Bears at nose tackle, and he was a great guy to be within the WCW, and a good man. Always had a smile on his face. You just feel horrible for him and his family on this.
Absolutely.
That's sad thing.
Yeah, because you speak of announcers, he always stood out to me. I thought he did great behind the mic.
Yeah, he did.
He was one of those guys too. Yeah, right. Another former football player, exactly. And I thought he transitioned well to the broadcast area. Of course, he was a former horseman, so there's that too. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, it is. Feel very bad.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Dave. Again, I don't want to end on that on a somber note, but of course, we're always thinking of guys like that, because they contributed so much to the business. But anything, as far as 2022 that you want to promote podcast wise on our show here, or anything we should be on the lookout for as far as Dave Sullivan is concerned?
If you get a chance, tune in to Ballin' with Bill, and just watch the Midwest Wrestling Association. I'm going to do some things with that, so part-time, and have some fun with it. So, and anytime you want to check in with me, let me know. I'd love to be back on the show.
Oh, great.
Absolutely,
Cool.
sir. Absolutely, we will. And
real quick,
thank you so much. Go ahead, Chris. You have one last question there?
Well, real quick, Mr. Sullivan, is that with our buddy Mr. Mick Karch, or no?
No, it's with Brian Blade.
Oh, okay.
Very good. All right. Yeah, we'll keep an eye out. Absolutely.
And we do some things with McCartso too. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
Excellent.
Love it. I hope to talk to you guys again, man.
Absolutely, Mr. Sullivan. We appreciate you again, just as wrestling fans, being able to talk to you a little bit about wrestling and just shoot the shit with you for a little while. It's an honor for us. So we thank you for joining us on the Falls Count Anywhere podcast. And again, anytime you want to come back, you're more than welcome, sir.
Appreciate it. Stay in touch, man.
Absolutely.
All right,
thank you.
Take care, sir.
You take care.
All right, guys. Great stuff there. Always love talking about the wrestling business with the guys that were in the thick of it, like Dave Sullivan there. That was pretty cool. We're going to take a quick break here, correct, John? And then we'll come right back and do the second half of our show.
Yep.
All right, guys. We'll be right back with some clips and cheap tweets and all the fun stuff. right, welcome back. Falls Country War Podcast. Charlie, John, and Chris here with you guys. Good stuff, man. Dave Sullivan, great guest. Great to talk some old school wrestling. Yeah, man, that was fun. Enjoyed that.
That story about Piper's Pit was great. That was supposed to be a fake pineapple.
Yeah, I thought it was real the whole time.
Right. Yeah. We
it was.
It was real.
Yeah.
What a surprise when Snuka got smacked in the head. No wonder why he was so mad at the end. Holy cow.
I mean, pineapple is pretty damn dangerous, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the coconut too. I don't know. Might have to try that one day just for the hell of it, right?
Oh, well, we'll have to do it here if we're going to do it.
Yeah. Who wants to volunteer to get hit with it, though? That's the problem.
We'll find someone. I got some candidates. We'll do it. The three of us aren't getting hit. There's no way. It's our show. We're not hitting each other. We'll get someone. I don't know who.
Oh man, but yeah, good stuff there with Dave Sullivan. We appreciate it, and we got to ask him if we have him back down the road there a little more in depth on the drink, some of the drinking stories with himself and Big Bubba Rogers there. I bet there's some good ones in there. So yeah, that was cool stuff there. So thank you again to Mr. Dave Sullivan. Guys, we just had last week we had a big weekend of wrestling. Of course, SummerSlam went down, and we talked a little bit about Flair's last match with Mr. Sullivan. As far as SummerSlam, guys, I thought it was pretty good. It was the first one under the creative helm of Triple H and Stephanie and Nick Khan. And, from I don't know, just a standpoint of surprises and like the element of surprise, there was that. The end of the show ended with, if you saw it, the ring was pretty much almost flipped upside down because Brock Lesnar took it out with a damn tractor. There was just a lot of cool things that went down. It was very entertaining. So if that's just where we're getting started with Triple H running things, and looks like it's going in a good direction.
And the return of Edge.
Yeah, right. The return of Edge, the return of Bayley. She had Dakota Kai, and I forget the other female wrestler that was with her, but that was their return as well. So again, yeah, the element of surprise was there. The matches were good. A little disappointed I talked up the Usos and the Street Profits, and they kind of let me down. It wasn't that long of a match with Jeff Jarrett refereeing there. He kind of called it down the middle, nothing crazy. He didn't get involved really, got a little in their faces a little bit to keep order, but he wasn't like a factor in the match or anything like that. So yeah, but I thought it was a good SummerSlam overall, and it could be the last of Brock Lesnar. They're talking as if now, because he almost walked out with the whole situation with Vince. They talked him back potentially, maybe only into SummerSlam. I don't know, and that could have been the swan song. You think that might be it for him?
I just wonder. I would think it must be. I mean, we talked about this because I'm glad the three of us got together to watch the Flair fight, and when we were there, I remember talking about it with you guys. You would think, man, he used to come and go so much in the past, and you wouldn't see him for a while because I know he would be with UFC stuff. Yeah, I got to think that's it. And I got to ask you guys something real quick. Who is Roman Reigns? What's next? He won, right? He wins the match.
Yes. So now he's lined up to take on Drew McIntyre for the that Clash in the Castle.
Right.
So now, I think there's a very distinct possibility. Look, here's the thing with McIntyre, too. I know we talked about him as well. That's somebody I want to see get a big push. When he won his WrestleMania match, he didn't have the benefit of the live crowd. He had to do it in the stupid Thunderdome. I mean, they had to do it at the time with the COVID and all that shit. So when he won the belt, there was no crowd reaction there for him. So he kind of fell for him. So this is a chance in front of his kind of home crowd, over in London or wherever they're having it there. Clash at the Castle. He can win the title and the 700-day run of it'll be over 700 at that point. I think it'd be perfect timing to put it on Drew McIntyre, guys. What do you think?
Yeah, kind of like remember SummerSlam 92 when Davey Boy Smith beat Bret Hart for the Intercontinental there at
Wembley Stadium. Yes, sir. Yeah. That place went nuts. That place went absolutely bonkers, man. I think the same thing would happen for Drew.
Oh, yeah. Be great.
Yeah, I'd like to see it since what happened SummerSlam.
Absolutely. Becky Lynch turned back to a face. She was riding on the heel side of things for a while. She's now back to a baby face as she shook hands with Bianca Belair at the end of their match. Now, Becky Lynch is going to be out for a little while. She separated her shoulder, apparently, in that match, which clears up the answer of the left-handed handshake as she stuck out her left hand for a handshake with Bianca. And I was like, well, why not a right hand? Now we know her shoulder was in a sling on Monday Night Raw. So, hopefully speedy recovery for her. Of course, we're still going to be expecting the return of Cody Rhodes and whatnot down the road, so we'll see what happens with that. Now, guys, as you mentioned, we got together for Flair's last match. Overall, I thought Flair definitely labored through it. I thought it was, I mean, he didn't really need to do it. I mean, he's Ric Flair, right? What did you guys think of the final result of that thing?
Go ahead, John. No, you want me to go first? Okay. I
excited to talk about it, right?
Here's what I think. I enjoyed being there watching it with you guys. I loved the whole card. I thought it was awesome. Yes. The whole thing of it was a lot of fun. I saw some things that I haven't been that interested in wrestling in a long time. I enjoyed that whole thing.
Sorry, John. The Samoan wrestler we were impressed with. What was his name again? He was great. So was Briscoes, of course, and those guys.
Yeah, that guy was.
Fatu,
yes.
Oh my God,
he was fantastic.
Unbelievable. And then Flair, it just, I knew we were in trouble when he didn't say woo. He only did one woo the whole time, and even after he did his the thing, he's styling and profiling. He couldn't even say woo, and I figured to myself, it's tough. He
was exhausted after just doing a few chops. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, somebody pointed out too, and it was clear as day, right? When Andrade was putting the brass knuckles on Flair's hand. I mean, Flair was like almost lifeless. It was like, is he okay? You know what I mean? Is he able to do this? That was at the end where they won the match with the brass knuckles, and that was a little. He was pushing it there.
Have we heard from him at all since? Like, has there been? I haven't looked on social media. Has there been any?
Flair said something to the effect of he was on Instagram, I think, as of this morning or last night. Said something to the effect of "still the man." I can still, so he's still, patting himself on the back, and he's still Ric Flair. You know what I mean? So yeah, it was an interesting match.
Yeah, well, to me, my take, all those other matches were great, and great that all different organizations got together one night, kind of like a Forbidden Door type of thing. And,
Undertaker and Foley in the crowd there.
Yeah, but like Flair, you're right. He didn't need that. Of course, he is one of the greatest. I won't say the greatest, but he is one of the greatest for sure.
No question.
And of course, he will always be the man, not Becky Lynch. And, I don't know. To me, he actually looked better with taking pictures with people and doing interviews than he did in that match and in that ring.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I wonder if there was like an adrenaline rush at the start of it, and then once that wore off, it was just kind of downhill after that. I don't know. But, yeah, it got a little rough to watch there towards the end there.
But to go out in wrestling, you got to go out a winner, I think. So that was good.
Yeah. It was good to see.
I really liked how Jarrett was. I thought he was outstanding. When he was coming down the aisle and all that he was doing, he worked hard to make it even be worthwhile, because when the people were throwing beer and all that stuff was going on, I loved that. That was old time for me to see that kind of action in the crowd. And so I give him credit. I thought he worked hard.
And, of course, Jerry Lawler making the appearance there in the locker room, talking some smack. But, yeah, you mentioned the Forbidden Door, Chris, right? Like you saw Taker there, Foley, Diamond Dallas Page. They were all kind of sitting together. It was cool to see that. Cool to see those guys, kind of supporting Ric Flair, the greatest. So I'm sure they consider one of the greatest, as we do, as one of the greatest of all time. So, yeah, cool stuff. I think that's it, though, for Flair. No more. Maybe one more. No, none of that. That was it, and it's over with.
Yeah.
Who I'd like to have see one more match is that guy from Iran. That curly mustache guy, the Iron Sheik, of course, is who I talk about. So, John, we want to check in with our weekly sheet tweets on the old Twitter sheet there. I'll get that right. The Sheik here chimed in on Ric Flair. He just kind of threw respect. Ric Flair's last match, as he hashtagged there, and at Ric Flair, respect my brother. So looks like the Sheik was in the corner emotionally there, supporting their Ric Flair. So good to see a legend supporting a legend, right?
Right. We know that they go way back in the early Mid-Atlantic days too. So
I'm sure they've had some good matches in their history.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I and he's close to age. What are they? He's 73, Flair, and we got our guy's 80.
Just turned 80 this year. Yeah. Yep. So there you go. There's our last match.
There you
go. Versus the Camel Clutch.
Oh my God. Yeah. All right. All right. Let's see. Here we go.
And of course, words of advice from the Sheik. Above all things, don't be a jabroni. I mean, those are easy instructions there. Just don't be a jabroni. There's a lot of jabronis out there these days, guys.
Yeah. It's just like keep your hands to yourself. It's perfect.
Yeah, I'll give you a specific type of jabroni, and this happened to me over last weekend. I held the door for 2 separate people coming out of the store, gas station, whatever. Both of them didn't say a word to me. I think I'm done. I think I'm done holding open doors unless you're like over 80.
Yeah.
Jabronis. Those are jabronis.
They are. That's like real quick. My wife yells at me because I don't let nobody in driving. Well, they don't let me in either.
All right. Yeah.
Just don't be a jabroni, right? I mean, that's right. The rule.
Golden rule.
That's right, man. And one last tweet here from the Sheik. We lost the legendary Bill Russell, longtime Boston Celtic legend, ambassador of the game, just an absolute icon of basketball. Bill Russell, and the Sheik paying his respect. Bill Russell, rest in peace. You, the legend of the earth. We come to the Garden. We always spoke from the heart. I love you forever. And of course, the Sheik referring to the Boston Garden, where of course Bill Russell played back in the day, and of course where the Sheik wrestled back in the day. The old Boston Garden, Chris. I know you got some classic footage from that arena.
Oh yes, indeed. WWF, even early NWA 89-90 was played host to the Boston Garden over the years. And yes, some classic WWF cards, like especially 85, 86 there. We talked about last week, the Piper Machine. That was one of the matches there. Of course, just so many.
100%. And of course, Bill Russell, the 11-time world champion with the Boston Celtics, one of the as he's been described as a lot of the experts on TV, calling him like the greatest winner of all time. He won 11 out of 13 seasons. That's pretty impressive. They have a championship that many times. That's more than Yogi. That's more than all those guys. That's pretty impressive. So rest in peace to Mr. Bill Russell. And of course, guys, now we want to get to the heartbeat of our show, if you will. I know Chris has busted open the vault once again here with some wrestling clips. What do we got here, guys?
Yes, indeed. Each and every week, as we mentioned here, these clips are from my own personal collection. I do not sell or trade them to nobody. I use them specifically, can't talk here, for our show. And John, let's roll them. I believe they are our guest today, Mr. Bill Sullivan. Yes, here he is, the start of his career there. He talked about Portland, the Portland territory, and kind of looked like John Nord here, Charlie.
Yeah.
Look how big he is. He's a big man.
He's still a big dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at this poor guy who's going to get,
He's about to get annihilated here,
Yeah.
Doesn't look good for him.
There he goes. Out of the ring already.
Now, this is the equalizer here, Chris?
This is the equalizer at first. Yes, the equalizer. Okay. This is, again, here's a different opponent, as you will.
Oh, this guy's mocking him.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
Oh, look at that.
That's what we got to ask them. Him and John Nord should have been a tag team.
Yeah.
And we should ask him about the Huss. Yeah. Next time.
Yeah, definitely. Wow.
Yeah, look at this.
Look at that jabroni.
Yeah.
Where did he get his haircut?
Yeah.
The equalizer, John.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, he's going to beat this. This guy's a big guy, at least.
He's a big dude, yeah.
Not at least like the last guy who just doesn't look. These guys don't look. They spend any. I'm amazed that the wrestlers don't look like they ever went to the gym. It's shocking to me.
Yeah, and of course, here we go where that infamous angle started. The fireball from Kevin Sullivan to the Nasty Boys. Classic WCW 1994-95 here. And there he is. Evad.
Oh my God.
As we'll hear shortly in the interview with Mean Gene.
Yeah, this
Imagine
is great.
Mean Gene during this interview, guys.
Yeah. Mean.
This is WCW Saturday Night, correct?
Yes, WCW Saturday Night on WTBS or TBS. Always out of Atlanta, Georgia. There, the Peach State of Georgia, as our friend
6:05 Eastern, right? That's the one.
Yeah,
is that 8:05 Eastern?
Our friend Gennard Soley, his great father, the great Gordon Soley, would say, the Peach State of Georgia.
That's right.
The Sullivans. Well, yeah, so interesting to find out that he is related to Kevin here, but not Mr. Terry Sullivan.
Right.
Yeah, that is his brother, so it's very cool. You can see the resemblance there.
Yeah, for sure, but, I didn't know either. Some things are not always what you think.
Yeah. Oh, geez.
To his big brother.
Well, that was like the injured throat with Superfly, right, Chris?
Steamboat.
Yeah, or Steamboat, right?
Yeah,
I think he was talking about Cactus Jack, maybe.
This is unbelievable. Look at Okerlund.
Evan, yeah.
Bang!
Oh!
That's just great. Just classic. Yeah, watching this back does kind of remind me of the Nick Dismore there, the Eugene angle, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, it really does. Great.
Eugene. Oh
I forgot about that Eugene angle, man. That was a good call on that.
Yeah, Hogan came out and saved him one time.
Yeah, that's right.
That's your brother, Dave.
Oh. Insane. Look at his face.
Just great. Just classic.
All right, we got more. Hold on. The rest of the clip is coming. Here we go.
Yes. Here
There's
we
an
go.
awesome- there we
Speaking
go.
of which, Charlie,
Yeah.
Look
the
at his hat.
Hulkamaniac here.
There he is, dressed up as the Hulkster, yep.
The hat, the robe, the slippers. Look at the 24-inch pythons.
Oh, yeah. Look at how short his brother is. Jeez.
You know, as we were just saying how big Dave Sullivan is, and the Hulkster comes in, he's even bigger, man. The Hulk was a big guy.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
There's Okerlund. Oh, that beefcake back there? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Or Jimmy Hart. Uh-oh. Watch Mean Gene, too. You wonder if Mean Gene knew something was coming.
Yeah, I wonder. Yeah, right? Oh, boy. Hogan, Jesus.
Bang!
Oh, that's it.
That was the start of the brother versus brother angle there.
There we go. Yeah, there they go. The Sullivan's going at it.
There's that golden voice of Mr. Gordon Soley.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Unmistakable.
Backdrop. Looks like he had speaking of shoulder, he had a shoulder, then here he is with the shorter haircut going at it.
Oh.
Pick up. Body slam. Oh, and again. And then here's a clip of him before he was on our show. He was on the Hannibal show at one point.
All right. Yeah. Now he does a full 1 hour shoot, I believe, with Hannibal. Watch our show first, of course, and then check this out. But yeah, he goes a little bit longer in depth on his career there.
Yeah, it goes a little more into the football history before he got into wrestling.
Okay, now this dude host on the left, that's not Hannibal, right? Isn't that somebody else?
No, that was Hannibal himself, yes.
I thought that was a replacement host there. Okay. Very cool, very cool. Yeah, it was good to talk to him, and it's weird because it's like we have this technology, we can just bring these guys right in on the damn frame and start asking questions, and we're just so grateful that these guys take the time to hang out with us for a little bit as wrestling fans, just to shoot the shit about some wrestling, man. It's good clips as usual, Chris. As you stated before the clips, we'll state it after. Chris ain't distributing or selling or none of that shit, so don't sue anybody over here because we're not doing anything like that. Nothing illegal going on. We're just having some fun with some classic wrestling.
With Vince gone now, I hope maybe they'll leave us alone. Maybe Triple H will
loosen up a little bit.
Lighten up, yes, please.
We'll have to invade Raw if they don't.
Yeah, that'd be great. That's such a good idea. The three of us, yeah, we could on a tank.
Yeah.
Once we get our new shirts and a banner.
Yeah, the new NWO, the Niagara World Order or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
we'll have to work on it.
I'm Silent Brian Mackney of the group. That's all.
Yeah, there you go.
Be perfect. That's get the shit kicked out of me.
We made the error of errors last week where we did a show. No, we didn't have a guest, and sometimes that happens. But we did a show. We had Sheik tweets. We had the clips. We had a good conversation about some wrestling going on. But damn it, man, we missed the jobber of the week. We're not going to let that happen this week.
No.
We do have our jobber lined up here. John, if you could bring him up on the screen here, this jabroni, Nick Tarantino. This caught my eye here because I'm like, wait a minute, that's not the director, Nick Tarantino, right? Nicky Tarantino or Quentin Tarantino.
Oh, Quentin, yes.
Quentin Tarantino, I believe he's referred to as Nick sometimes as well. Or maybe it's just a relation to Quentin Tarantino. Who knows?
Right.
But also goes under the name of, or went under the name of Romeo Valentino as well. Now some of these guys, as you dig into the cards here from back in the day, some of these guys, you try to look for some, a little bit of depth in their career. But this guy only had 5 matches, unfortunately, and he was 0-5 in his career, and nothing really of note. He just got his ass kicked 5 times, and that was it. So Nick Tarantino, Romeo Valentino, if you will. Born June, was that July 6, 1968? Now, again, with some of these guys, it's so hard to find information. We don't know really where he's from. So I guess when we see that, right, he's just from parts unknown. Right, we'll throw that in the term in there.
Yeah.
But Romeo, man, he didn't make it. He didn't make it after 5 matches.
Well, that's what it says on the paperwork, so we got to go by parts unknown, right?
Parts unknown, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. What years was he? What was his year? I missed it. What was it? The early 90s, I guess, for
early 90s, like into the like that not Ruthless Aggression, the New Generation or whatever, when they had the tilted WWF logo there and like Shawn Michaels head cheese. The head cheese, I don't know if that's the thing. You know what I mean? But so that looks like it was around that area, around like 93, 94, somewhere in there. And that's, I'll tell you what, that was a gray area of wrestling for me between, I would say, 94 and up until Scott Hall made his appearance on Nitro. Things were getting stale until that happened. So, yeah, you could tell there that Romeo, Mr. Nick Tarantino, was from that era before things got turned over to the NWO and those guys. But, guys, another great show in the books here. Again, thank you to Mr. Dave Sullivan, EVAD, for joining us here on the show. Good stuff. And, Chris, I know you wanted to mention, our friend that I guess through communication through video and through Facebook and us trying to give as much support as we can. Our friend Elena DiPaolo had a successful surgery. That's something we were used to bringing up at the end of each and every show. And just thankful for that. We're also thankful for that she's thankful that she's healthy and doing well. There was a recent picture also, and it got picked up by the local news where she was with the donor herself that donated. I didn't see that until somewhat recently, so it was pretty cool.
Yes, indeed. What little help we helped out there, we feel great about, and we're so happy for her and her family, and hopefully now she can have the rest of her life with her young boy there and great husband. And
like we're grateful and take this in like a tongue-in-cheek type of way. We're glad we don't have to mention her at the end of each and every show as, hey, can you help her out, because she got that help, and it's such a relief, I'm sure, for her to be moving forward now with everything. So that's pretty awesome. And John, also we saw during our commercial break there, Robin Restino's got a new show. Your wife Robin, so that's on Tuesday nights at 6 p.m. correct?
It is. Yep, Tuesday night 6 p.m. She's doing it's just basically current events, but she's talking about getting a little more national than the local stuff. So headed there. She just got off the ground. Maybe this is our 4th or 5th episode. So 6 p.m. Awesome. Tuesday. Check it out.
Yeah, guys, check that out. Robin will have some good things to say going forward, I'm sure. And there's a comfort level to this too, man. I know when we first started, we were doing it in the old studio and stuff, and the nerves were kind of there the first couple shows, but I think we've gotten a little comfortable with it. And I've gotten comfortable with you jabronis and interviewing some of the talent that we've been able to interview has been pretty cool, guys. So, as we wrap up, again, just one more reminder too, tickets are already on sale for AEW's debut in Buffalo right here in Western New York. Their debut is going to be on the 7th of September. I got my tickets. I'll be there. So if anybody wants an autograph, I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah,
right. But be sure to check that out. Tickets are on sale for that. So look forward to seeing the debut Buffalo show for AEW on September 7th, which will be a day before football season, John. And that's right up your wheelhouse there with the Goal Getters show that we'll be checking out as well.
Yeah, we'll be there on Friday at 6 o'clock this week. There's so much. And with football coming around the corner, there's a game.
Thursday night.
Yeah, I think there's a game this
Hall of Fame game. That's right.
Yeah, it's coming up. And then the 13th it all starts, all the preseason. So while the summer has flown, but as a sports fan, I love the fall because everything's going. And I know you guys do too. So it'll be fun.
Oh, yeah. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, just real quick, 2 things before we go here. Of course, check us out with John and Robin's help. You can follow Falls Count Anywhere on Twitter at Count Anywhere. We are also on Spotify, Falls Count Anywhere. We're on YouTube, but we're upgrading our YouTube, so we'll let you know about that in the weeks to come. And of course, our home here on Facebook is Falls Count Anywhere. And we appreciate each and every view and like and subscribe. And also, John, real quick, we mentioned at the end of the show, we're going to start to give a little, I don't know what we'll call it, a shout out to anybody with, mental health needs and survivors that need help. We want to put some numbers out there so they can get that help.
That's wonderful. Yeah, all around the country, we all know, we've all dealt with it. Every one of us has dealt with the feeling of not wanting to get up, whatever, just depression, all those things. Let me give you a number. This is a great one. 844-794-3812. Anywhere in the country you are, call that number. They're there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. What I know of this number is they also will not talk. They will talk to you anytime. Now, if it's on Christmas Day, whatever it is, but also they'll help you in your community, wherever you are in the United States, find a, someone to help you locally. If you don't want to do that, you can stay anonymous and just talk to them, but please just reach out to them. And I want to put up one more thing. This is real important because this is suicide prevention. This number now, 988, call it. If you're at that point, and I'll tell you another thing, a lot of us have been there too. And if you're there, please, 988, they're there. Please give that thing a call. It's worth it. Give it a call. And I think every week, guys, it's beautiful because we saw what we could do, and we did help Elena. I talked to her, and we can help more. And I know you guys. And I thank you two guys for wanting to do this. It's wonderful because around the country, man, mental health, and you know what? I'll bring up the last one too. I'm sorry. For sexual assault survivors in your area, no matter where you are in the United States right now, and this includes Canada too. The YWCA. Look it up in your area. They're there in every county in the country. And they're there to help you. If you're somebody who's ever been assaulted in that way, it's currently happening to you, please give them a call. And there's always someone to help.
Awesome information there, John. Important information. We are a show of the people here at Falls Count Anywhere. So I want to make sure we get that information out to each and every one of you as well. So again, guys, thank you for a fantastic show. Once again, we had a good time here at Mr. Sullivan today. And we got some awesome episodes coming up in the future as well. We hope to have we're anticipating some pretty big guests. So stay tuned for Falls Count Anywhere, and we'll keep you posted as we go along. Everybody have a great weekend, and guys, have a good one.
Yes.
You too. Thank you, guys.